welcome officially to historic Diamond Caverns. Now, as you look around, obviously, there is quite a bit to see. This area in our cave system is known as our Rotunda Room, so it does happen to be one of our largest open spaces in the cave system. Now, essentially, we are known to be one of the most decorated cave systems in this general area of Kentucky. Essentially, what that means, it's a very fancy title to say we are absolutely covered in formations. I like to say we are covered head to toe. There's never a spot you will not see them. Now, we've got lots of different types, shapes, sizes, textures, and even colors. We'll talk about just some really key ones while we're actually right here in this room. So what typically is a fan favorite, you can see that hangs right above our heads, these right here are known as stalactites. A stalactite is going to hold tight to the ceiling. That's how we remember. They're commonly compared to icicles. That's a good, of course, comparison there. A little boy the other day tells me it looks like a witch's finger. So I think it depends on how active your imagination is. But we have tons of these. Obviously, opposed to that is what's going to come from the ground up. These are known as stalagmites. A really good example you can see is right here and right there. Now, a stalagmite will only come from the ground up, and they start very small, and as you can tell by the very large one in front of us, they can get to be quite large. Now, with our formations, we like to say that every room in our cave system has a main attraction, something that will grab your attention. You may have noticed it's pretty hard to miss. There is a very big rock in front of us. Now this right here does happen to be one of the largest formations in our entire cave system. It's known as the haystack. Now the haystack is measured to be 13 feet tall, and it's actually estimated to weigh a little bit more than 70 tons. So it's quite large. It's been here a really long time. Now, believe it or not, Historic Diamond Caverns has been here a while. We are the second oldest showcase cave in the state of Kentucky. Now, there again, believe it or not, that iron gate we come through is not the natural entrance to our cave system. The natural one can even still be seen to this day. So we're going to shuffle down just to the end of this pathway so we can see it a little bit better. So if you would shuffle down with me. Wow. So of course, as you guys kind of move in, those of you in the back, it's a little bit harder for you to see. But if you do lean over the railing this direction and look right up here, you're going to see there is a nice big old hole in our ceiling. Now you may have to lean over the railing to see this hole. If you want to do that, you feel comfortable, please feel free to. Just make sure to be cautious. Now that big old hole in our ceiling, don't worry, it's supposed to be there. That right there is known, of course, as the natural entrance to our cave system. Now that is originally how we'd actually get into the cave. Now, believe it or not, we were not originally discovered by a caver. The gentleman that, of course, purchased our property, he was a farmer. His name was Jesse Coates. Now, when Jesse Coates comes into the cave system and when he discovers that hole, he's going to decide that he's got to jump right down. Makes a lot of sense, right? Now, ironically, even though it was his cave system and his idea, he was not the first person into his cave system. Originally, that hole was only slightly bigger than the size of a basketball, and let's just say Jesse Coates was not that small. The first person in, very little is truly known about him, besides the fact that he was very, very skinny and in his mid-20s. So he's going to have a rope tied around his waist, and he's going to be lowered down to discover this is definitely not a rabbit hole as they originally discovered, but, of course, an entire cave system. Now, there again, when he comes down, it does bring us to that common question, why are you called Diamond Caverns if you definitely don't have any diamonds? The reason for that is when he comes down, he's going to have a single candle in hand. If you haven't noticed, we're underground, so when the lights are off, you can't see anything. He's going to take this candle, he's going to shine it on these formations above us. Now, if you look very closely at them, you can see they almost glow or sparkle under the light. A very good example of what he's going to see is right here on our haystack. Kind of sparkly, kind of shiny. Now, of course, you see a rock, it's sparkling, it's got to be a diamond, right? This gentleman runs to the top, he says, Jesse Coates, don't even worry about it. You're going to be the richest man in Kentucky. You have discovered a diamond cave. Now, if you guys are familiar with Kentucky, we don't have any diamonds, so that is not a diamond. That right there is a mineral known as calcite, which is also beautiful. If you guys are familiar with it, it will cover our cave system, but it's definitely not a diamond. You can find small pieces of that in our gift shop for about 99 cents, so really didn't do a lot of good. Now, obviously, he decides not to mine out the property, but instead to take upon the beauty of the true cave system. Barely a month later, he puts in some walkways and makes us an official showcase cave. We gave our first tour on August 19th of 1859. This also means we actually just passed 161 years of being open for tourism, so we've been here a while. We're definitely packed full of history. Now, if you look right over here, you can see this passageway is going to be a little bit more narrow. For taller individuals, this is the first spot to please make sure to be aware. That ceiling down there is going to be a little bit lower. There will be a couple low formations as we move on, so just make sure to watch your head, hold out of the railings, and of course, make sure those masks cover your nose and your mouth. So if you would follow me.
Be careful.
I'm recording a video.
I know, but you need to be careful. There's steps here.
Wait, Mommy!
Just a heads up.
Mommy, I can't see. Can you take the helmet?
Hold on, stand still. Let me get it. Let me get it. Give me your hand. Okay, well.
Okay. Busy. Look okay.
Wet stairs.
It's not gonna fall.